Hi, welcome back to Ahead of the Curve. I'm your host, Dr. Megan Teed, and today I have a very simple topic that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking all about side planks. This is a hot topic. I know I say that a lot, but this really is a hot topic where people they want to know which side that they should be focusing on with side planks, whether or not they are good to be doing with scoliosis or not. And I'm going to be talking about all those things today and give you a rundown on why you should likely be doing both sides, and just things to keep in mind while you're doing your side planks. Probably won't be a very long episode, but I think that this is going to be a popular one. So, with side planking, you have to take into consideration what curve type you have, first of all. So, there are some people that only have one curve, and this is kind of rare. Um, if you have just one curve, it makes your decision making a little bit easier when you're doing your side planks. So I'm going to use my little spine here, my spine model as an example, to help me talk out what I mean about a lot of these things, and also um, to help you just see visually a little bit more easily what I'm talking about as well. So um, here we go. My spine model here, it actually is more than one curve, but we're going to talk about the spine as though it has one curve only. Here we have the spine from the front. I'm going to flip around, and now we have the spine from the back. And let's talk about the middle curve and pretend that the spine only has this one curve here. So this would be a single thoracolumbar curve, or probably just thoracic curve. And in this model, the curve is shifting off to the right hand side if you're looking at it from the back view. Okay. So this side here on the right is convex, and then the side here on the left is concave. So if I flip this spine on its side here, and if we were to do a right side plank, what the right side plank does is it helps to pull the spine into more of an aligned or centered position. Okay. So if you're somebody that just has one curve, if you're the rarity that has just that one curve, I would recommend focusing more of your time and attention on doing a right side plank. You can still do a left side plank, but what you want to be aware of when you're doing your left side plank is not lifting up even higher into that concavity. You may even want to think about using a mirror and think about helping that area to sink down. So, like, kind of correcting a little bit for it and allowing that convexity or concavity to sink down more towards the floor. Now, the more complicated part comes into play when we have more than one curve. We don't want to just have um, all the focus and attention be on, that primary curve, even though that does get, and it does warrant most of the attention because it tends to draw the largest asymmetries in the body. But if you're somebody that has more than one curve, you're going to have to focus your attention a little bit differently. You still, let's say, we'll keep using the spine as an example. So This person has a right thoracic primary curve and then a left lumbar compensating curve. So when Spiny does his side plank here on the right hand side, it is helping, okay, to lift that right convexity up out of its curve. And then we want to make sure that we're not lifting up so high in that side plank that we're not feeding this lumbar curve. So the concavity in the lumbar spine. So it's going to require using a mirror for feedback, a trainer for feedback, maybe another set of eyes, recording yourself doing your side plank, and just noticing what your tendencies are so that you can make some adjustments accordingly. I've been doing this work on my own spine, my own body for 7 years, going on 7 years, I think. And I still definitely need to use a mirror for feedback. I'm just, I still have a bit of proprioceptive deficits when it comes to my own body, when it comes to my spine. And I sometimes can't feel when I'm either overcorrecting to get out of my curve or undercorrecting. So, really, definitely using a mirror for feedback is beneficial. Now, let's talk about the different variations of side planks that you could be doing. Because doing a full blown side plank is not always the best option for everybody. So, the first modification would be, or level one, I would say, would be to do a wall plank. You can use your hand on the wall with an outstretched arm, or you can use your elbow on the wall, and then you walk your feet away from the wall, and you still think about all of the things that I just spoke about earlier. The second level up from that would be either using a counter or maybe even a sturdy chair or a couch. And again, you can use your elbow or your hand. You can have your feet staggered in front of each other. That makes it a little bit easier. Or if you stack your feet on top of each other, that makes the side plank a bit harder. And then we would move on to the floor. And you can do a side plank with your hips down on the floor. You don't have to lift your hips to get a benefit from doing a side plank. And especially with scoliosis, a lot of times it would be probably a smarter idea to start with your hips on the floor and make sure that you're getting the alignment down correctly before you lift the hips up, because it's very challenging lifting the hips up off the floor and only holding your weight in one arm. So I would recommend starting with the hips down on the floor, knees bent, and then making those little adjustments with the hips on the floor. And then the next level up would be, again, this is either on your elbow or up onto your hand. On your elbow, I think that recruits more core engagement. Up on the hand, that is a bit more shoulder, arm focused. If you're somebody that's hypermobile and your elbows bend backwards, being up onto your hand is going to be a lot more challenging because you're going to have the tendency to hang out in your ligaments and just rest in that hyperextension. It requires a lot more muscle recruitment to hold that arm in more of a neutral position without the joint locked out in the ligaments with hypermobility. So the next level up would be with the knees bent and the hips lifted. And then the next level up from that would be one knee down and one leg extended out to the side. Next level up from that would be one leg lifted with one knee down. And then you would move on to both legs straight and your feet staggered in front of each other. And then the next level up would be with your feet stacked. And then finally, um, the next level would be with one leg lifted up with the bottom leg straight. So there are tons of room for progression with side planks, um, but there's no need to rush through those different progressions. We want to make sure that your focus and your form is correct. So you'll even feel when you're doing the correct side, but the side that you need to focus on is usually your harder side. Um, and that is because, let me grab this slide again. That is because the muscles, so when you're doing your right side plank in this example, the muscles along that right curve are over lengthened or overstretched. So this makes them weak in a lot of ways. So when you do a side plank on that right side, you're having to recruit those over lengthened muscles and put them in a position that they're really not used to being in the majority of the day. It's going to feel a lot harder doing your side plank on your primary convex side. Whereas when you do it on your primary concave side, it's going to feel quite a bit easier because these muscles are already activated and in a shortened position. So it's easier for them to make that contraction than the other side. In my experience, you could be an outlier and have the inverse be true for you, but that is what I've seen with the folks that I work with, and I experience that in my own body. I could stay there all day long on my left hand side. That's my concave side. And then on my right hand side, a minute feels like an eternity when I'm in a side plank. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. Those are side plank basics with scoliosis. And, play around with it. Use a mirror for feedback. Use a camera, a friend, a trainer, and have them help you get into the best alignment. We're looking for really smooth angle or smooth lines throughout the body. So if you're seeing like a really sharp angle in your spine when you're in the side plank, that's an indication that some adjustments need to be made. Maybe reaching your hip a little bit further away from your rib. Um, Elongating usually helps to take out some of those sharp angles, but we mostly want it to look as fluid and as straight as our curvy spines can be in that position. All right, so that is all I have for you today. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, stay well and stay ahead of the curve.